What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Crunch Time. You know the drill. Early version, two of the sharpest minds in the industry. We're going to take it up to lock. We might take it through lock. We'll talk some pitchers, some hitters, some home run calls, and we'll probably discuss lunch as well. We got my guy, Dave Pot. Cheese is good. The man's so nice, he won the Millie twice. What is up, Cheese?
Not too much. This will lead nicely into lunchtime, so that's going to be fine. I don't know if it's lunchtime in the wilderness of Canada or not, but bright and early. You can have a little brunch with us.
Yeah, I just woke up 45 minutes ago, so it'll definitely be brunch for me.
TJ is such a late. He just to bed late, early, late to rise. You're just on a whole like night owl schedule.
Yeah, I don't know. My baby sleeps really long hours. Like she's an amazing sleeper, but she usually doesn't fall asleep till about midnight. And then she'll sleep till 10 a.m. the next day. And so like my wife and baby are still asleep upstairs right now.
She's going to be a musician for sure. That's great.
Yeah. Exactly.
Musician hours. Yeah. TJ, how are you, man? What's up?
Doing very well. Had a little mini vacation the other day. Went to my in-laws' cabin at the lake. And so there's a lake in the middle of Saskatchewan that's just all saltwater for some reason. I don't actually know the history behind it, but there's a saltwater lake in Saskatchewan. They call it the Dead Sea of Canada. And so they have a cabin there. We went to the beach. It was about 90 degrees. It was perfect. Baby was hanging out in the water. Absolutely loved it. So had a nice little relaxing couple days, and now back to the grind. I didn't play DFS, but I did home run bets. And I like 25x'd my home run bets over the past couple days. So yeah, Manitou Lake. That's it. That's where I was.
There it is. I mean, it looks lovely. How far is Manitou Lake from your hood?
Just about an hour. About an hour. Not too far at all. That's the beauty of where I live. Literally my favorite thing. There are 1 million people, a little over that now, but about a million people in Saskatchewan, and there are over 100,000 lakes. There is a 10-to-1 person to lake ratio.
That is wonderful. Yeah. Well, good job. I'm glad you enjoyed some time off, and glad you're here to help kind of guide us through it here. It is a salinity content 5 times higher than the ocean. I assume, TJ, there's no fish in it, which is why it's the Dead Sea of Canada.
I don't really think so. Yeah. Like I know there's no motorboats allowed on the lake just because, or I guess I don't think it's not a bylaw or anything. People just don't do it because the salt just like eats up the motors in there. And so there's a few people with some sailboats and that's about it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's about it. And we got Cheese in the house. Dave Potts, what up, Cheese? How are you?
I am just great. 4-game slate, play a little of everyone and then go eat lunch. Like that's really all there is to it.
Okay, well then let's kind of dive into that. Weather-wise, there's nothing too alarming. You may have seen some dragons and some wizards and some tornadoes on a picture I posted. It is unlikely that we're going to see any of those things today. So I think you just play whoever you want, wherever you want, and don't stress about it all that much. Cheese, why don't we dive into what we're doing pitcher-wise here?
Sure. I'll kind of, double down on what I said in the musings, which is like I think the pitcher pricing is just correct, such that you can just play everyone because like it's just Jack Flaherty's the best and he's the most expensive by about the right amount, and then Max Fried, Logan Webb, and Bryce Miller are the next best little group by about the right amount at about the right salary drop from them, and then Jose Quintana is next, and he's at about the right salary drop from them. I will tell you that on the DraftKings side, Flaherty and Fried are the chalk. It's not really that hard to get the two of them together. I think that's the very popular combo. And I'm fine with that. That's mostly what I'm playing. I have a handful of Webb and Miller just as pivots off of Fried, and then I have a handful of Jose Quintana just to be able to get those few lineups where you want to spend up at all the positions. But I'm totally fine with Flaherty and Fried chalk. And then I would also say it's reasonably certain that Kenta Maeda is the long reliever. And he's $5,000 on DraftKings. You don't really need him because like there's not that much to spend up on, and what there is to spend up on, if I can use sentences, it would all be the exact same lineup because there's only like the one thing at each position to spend up on. So I have one Kenta Maeda lineup just because I wanted to play all those bats. But essentially, I think he's unnecessary, and he might not even pitch. On FanDuel, it's a little more spread out, but it's still just not that hard to get Flaherty. I have Flaherty and Fried in about 65% of my lineup, one of those two, and then just a sprinkle of the other guys. The way I view this, the chances of you losing because of playing Flaherty are super close to zero. Of course, they're not zero. It's baseball, and throw in a couple of Brewer stacks just in case. But like, if salary allows it, I'm not overthinking it with Flaherty. And I would.
If you were to estimate your percentage, how much Flaherty do you think you have?
Probably about 45 to 50 on FanDuel. Probably about 60 on DK.
Okay. TJ, I want to bring you in. It seems like Cheese believes that these guys are properly priced. Everything it goes in order. So not taking any super hard stands. Are you doing something crazy? Like, I'm not playing Flaherty. Or are you just kind of with Cheese, or like everything is right and you just get kind of similar exposures to what projections are showing?
I usually do one end of the extreme, and I'm not super extreme with the lock button today with Flaherty, but I have 89%. So pretty darn close. I have, let's see how many Brewers stacks in 150 lineups. 16 Brewers stacks in 150 lineups and 89% Flaherty. So literally every lineup, I think, except one. That's not a Flaherty lineup, is a Brewer stack. Fried I'm lower on than the field. I just think that there's a pretty good chance he's probably putting up 15, 16, 17 points, and I think somebody else could beat him there. But I'm not fading him by any means. I just have about 30%. And then I have 30% Webb, and then Spence, Miller, and Quintana, 20% each of them. Quintana is the one I feel the best about, and Spence and Miller I'm just kind of taking a shot on. I don't really think Miller should be 30% ownership. I actually like a Detroit stack as a way of getting a little bit different today. But it's Flaherty is my clear SP1. I agree Fried is the SP2 in cash. And I think if I'm pivoting off of one of them in tournaments, it's going to be Fried.
Okay. Very good. Michael says Cheese rules. That's it.
You know what rules? Michael Knack rules.
Yeah, you rule, Michael. We appreciate the love. TJ, you rule as well. Would you like to give us some of your favorite stacks? You already mentioned you've got some of those contrarian stacks, like Brewers against Flaherty.
Yeah, I got some Brewers against Flaherty. I have some quite a bit of Detroit against Miller. I also have a lot of people watching this show and not smashing the like button. So smash the damn like button. If you want Spidey bombs, you want Cheese's home run calls, make sure you're hitting that like button, because there's no way we're giving out any home runs without, like, I know it's early in the morning, but like bare minimum 50 likes. So let's get these way up here, afternoon for the East Coast. Seattle's my highest owned stack today. I got an absolute ton of them. There may be a Spidey bomb playing for Seattle today. The Dodgers come in number 2, followed by the Mets for me. Really, I kind of view it as Seattle 1 and everybody else 2. Like, it's such a small slate. The Brewers are in the worst spot, but they're going to be facing a mega-owned pitcher. The Giants are in a bad spot, but they're going to be facing a mega-owned pitcher. Atlanta's in a bad spot, but Atlanta can score against anybody. The Dodgers and Mets are probably my second and third favorite, but it's really Seattle in tier 1 for me, and literally everyone else in tier 2.
Okay, interesting. Cheese, do you have a similar tier ranking there where Seattle's first and then a grouping, or you feel differently?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Mariners are the 3 very obvious chalk teams. Like, if we had a bigger slate, I don't think Seattle would be chalk, but like, they're the team that's super easy to fit with anything. Like, it's very easy to play ace pitchers, Seattle and Ohtani, and that's the build. Then there's a couple little pieces of Oakland and Detroit that I like a lot that I think will be moderately popular. But like, there's nothing unique about any of that, but like, kind of, so what? On a 4-game slate, everything gets played. Like, the most contrarian thing on the board, whether that's a Brewers, Giants, or Braves stack, still gets like 8-10% ownership. Like that's just everything gets played and everything gets kind of smushed together. So I think other than playing basically a Seattle stack with Ohtani and Lindor, I think don't really worry about what you're playing ownership wise and just play what you want. If you want to be ahead of the field on Seattle like TJ does, great. Like you have to work hard to get ahead of the field. So if you like them best, like just go crazy with it. And the thing I like about Seattle is the lineup is pretty spread out, like 1 through 9. It doesn't, other than Cal Raleigh, I don't really care which Seattle bats I have. So I have quite a few like wraparound stacks and just random, 2, 5, 7, 9. Just pick some numbers. There you go.
And when you say other than Cal Raleigh, you mean because you absolutely want him and he's a stud?
Like he's the hardest guy to leave out of the stack because he's Cal Raleigh. I do have some stacks without him because, again, you got to do something different on a 4-game slate. But yeah, essentially, I agree with TJ, and I think everybody will. Like the 3 stacks are the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Mariners. And then followed by some cheap Tigers and A's. And then if this was a 10-game slate, you would get absolutely nobody would be playing Brewers, Braves, and Giants. But it's a 4-game slate, and they're getting played. Like you're not by yourself. Like don't think you're getting 1% owned teams because that's not how it works on a 4-gamer.
Right. Okay. Let's see. 4-Prong Digger says, is it a bad idea to fade Atlanta, Cheese? Is it okay?
Yeah, I mean you could argue they're dead last, like 8th out of 8 teams. So no.
Yeah. Right.
You can fade everyone on this slate. You can play everyone on this slate, except for Alex Fado.
Yeah. Let's see. Someone says, "Hey, is San Francisco?" Let me see if I can get back to that. It was a weather question here. Is San Francisco going to heat up at all through the day? I love the wind blowing out of the park there. Not really. It's mid-60s for a high, and the winds are almost always blowing out in San Francisco, and they built the ballpark to minimize the wind in that direction. So a 10-mile-per-hour wind blowing out in San Francisco is not really noteworthy at all. What does help is anytime you get a day game, you don't have to worry about the marine layer. You don't have to worry about the fog, essentially. And so the ball will carry a little bit better in day games than night games there. But
and let me note, I just went to Weather Edge, 469 game sample, and it's essentially just as average gets straight across. So do not ignore the win. Just it doesn't exist.
Yep.
It's not an upgrade. It's not a downgrade. It's just a game in San Francisco.
The thing is, though, is average is fine when you got a guy who just hits a home run every single time he faces a left-handed pitcher, and it doesn't matter if that left-handed pitcher is Max Fried. When he's plus 850 to hit a home run, and so Tyler Fitzgerald is Spidey Bomb number 1 today, plus 850.
Crazy. Lock it in. Plus 850. Good stuff. Where are we? I think it's time to go around the horn, talk some position by position. Cheese, start us off with a little catcher talk.
We've already talked about the big dumper. Catcher's really good. Like we run into this most slates for a 4-game slate. It's kind of crazy how good it is. We got Raleigh. He's my favorite. We got Will Smith and Shea Langelier. Absolutely love all 3 of those guys. The rest of the pool is, of course, you should play whatever in your stack. But to me, those 3 guys are so good. And I'm playing a lot of them on FanDuel as well. And I have Raleigh first, Smith second, and Shea, who apparently is named after Shea Stadium, third. Those 3 guys are fantastic.
TJ, any other names you want to add in at catcher?
I just want 12 more likes so we can get them up to 75 so I can unleash the second Spidey Bomb. So I'm just going to banter a little bit here in the meantime. I really like Langelier. Grant picked him as a turd bomb today. I bet on him to hit a home run. Dylan Dingler is my favorite cheap option. Will Smith I'm getting to, and then everybody else is just only in stacks, except for my highest owned guy. Did I banter long enough? Did we get there? Did I stall long enough? How many likes? We're at 69 likes. It's nice, but it's not the 75 I want. Give me 6 more. Spidey Bomb number 2 is Cal Raleigh because 425 for the big dumper. The big dumper shouldn't be 425 when they got the highest implied team total on the slate. Cal Raleigh, Spidey Bomb number 2.
Gonna big dump one over the fence. All right, what are we doing at first base, TJ?
Otani is my highest owned guy here at the position, but I'm also playing a lot of him at the outfield. Outside of him, it's a lot of guys who are just kind of fine to me today. Pete Alonso, Matt Olson, Luke Raley, Tyler Nevin I'm getting to when I need a cheap option. Billy Madras when I need somebody extra cheap. Bly Madras, sorry, not Billy. Bly Madras when I need somebody really cheap. What a just terrible name. That's like, it's not great. It's like, if you can spend up for Otani, awesome. If you're paying for Freeman at 5-1, that's fine. You need to go cheap to somebody like Nevin, cool. But it's not really that great outside of Otani. I would just be interested to know who Cheese prefers out of Alonso or Freeman.
Yeah, those guys are fantastic. But before we get there, Bly is a fantastic name. I love
Bly
it.
Madras just sounds
Bly.
like
Bly. Yes, I'm on.
I guess
it's a good thing.
Like as a former teacher, I'm used to thinking of how that would be in a classroom for the kid, and I can't just like Bly wouldn't be a fun like in school name, you know? It's like, what does that even mean, Bly?
You go to Starbucks, nobody's getting that right. You know,
If you're like an older,
they don't know how to spell that.
If you're an older professor, I think Bly Madras is a really cool like professor name.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like that's what's in my head when I hear that name for sure.
They got to get there though. They're gonna have a tough time getting there. From young kid Bly is not gonna have as.
But it's gonna make you. It's gonna make you tough. It's gonna make you tough.
Yeah.
I prefer Freeman over Alonso. Is the answer to that question. I love them both, of course. I think everybody kind of does. But I will go Freeman ahead of Alonso if I can just pick one. And that is with me assuming that I don't think the gap that we're showing in the ownership is really going to be there. I think it's going to be pretty close between them. Like if I was certain that Freeman would be, 4 times as owned, I would do that. But I don't think that's really the case. I think they get kind of smushed there. Otherwise, yeah, the cheap stuff you said, I do like Bly Madras and I like Tyler Nevin as random cheap guys on DK. And again, I do like the catchers on FanDuel. I'm playing about as much Raleigh Smith and Langelier as I am Freeman and Alonso.
Geez, I just have a random question. I look at Shohei, he's almost 7K. Do you like spending up when guys are that expensive? Or do you feel like, man, even if this guy hits a home run, he's still not quite getting there. I'd rather pick a 4K guy who could hit a home run instead. Or do you think, hey, he could hit 2 bombs, so I want to play him?
Yeah, it really depends a lot on the pitching available. Like, I still prefer to spend up for the superstars if the mid-tier pitching is good. But on most slates, like this is a different slate, 4 games. On most slates, I am kind of under the field on those guys who are like 6,500 plus to go with 2 mid-tier guys.
On today's slate, you can have a lineup with Otani, Fried, and Flaherty and have $1,000 on the table.
Yeah.
Like that's not hard to do.
Gotcha.
You stack Seattle, you stack Detroit, and all of a sudden it's super easy to. It's like, I guess I have to play Otani because I don't want to leave 2,000 on the table.
Right.
And the other difference on a 4-gamer, if Otani just scores, 14 DraftKings points, that's probably wins anyway. It's like on a 15-game slate, you need the 2 home runs to pay off that price. And on a small slate, not that many people are going to score 14 DraftKings points. That's so I'll take that at that salary.
Okay, interesting. All right, Cheese, what are you doing at second base?
I think Jorge Polanco is the chalk, which is, weird. It kind of goes back to the Seattle just fits. Like, they're very easy to get in. And like on FanDuel, you can play more there as well. I'm playing more Colt Keith, Zach Geloff, and Gavin Lux. I think those 3 guys are pretty fantastic. And that's really it on DK. FanDuel, you throw Tyler Fitzgerald in there as well, which is fine as a one-off, even in a Max Fried lineup. But basically, if you don't care about ownership, just play Polanco. If you do care about ownership, which outside of stacks, I kind of do. I go Keith, then Geloff, then Lux.
Okay. TJ, you got anything you want to add there to second base?
Literally no. It's Polanco, Geloff, Keith, Lux. Geloff and Keith are my favorite in tournaments. It's the exact same. And then of course, where you can get Fitzgerald at second on FanDuel. That.
Okay. Then let's go to third base, TJ.
Third base, Vientos is the guy that just kind of fits in everything I want to do here. It's just an absolutely terrible position today, so it's like Vientos or Nevin. But I think the best tournament option by far is Matt Chapman, 4,800 going against Fried, the lefty. He's going super low owned on a 4-game slate, and it's a really bad position. So even though they're in tough spots, I think Austin Riley, Matt Chapman are kind of the things to do in tournaments here.
Okay. Cheese, any other thoughts at third?
No, I totally agree. Like the two best hitters by far are going to be, a third of the ownership of Mark Vientos. Okay. So there you go. Matchup is a thing, but I think Chapman is a better play than Vientos. So there you go.
Fair enough. Shortstop.
The slate got sugared up pretty good with Betts not in the lineup, which just massively puts the ownership of Lindor through the roof. I think he's probably even higher on than Ohtani now, because there's just a ginormous gap between him and everybody else. Fitzgerald is expensive on DK, as is Willy Adames. So the two guys in the tough matchups there, I like as pivots off of Lindor chalk. And pretty much everyone who's not playing Lindor will probably play Dylan Moore to save the salary. And I don't love Dylan Moore semi chalk either. I'm more on board with Lindor chalk than Dylan Moore semi chalk. But the cheap stuff is just very blah. I can't give you any real reason to want to play it other than it's a 4-game slate, and you only need essentially one guy to fail Lindor, and then some random guy who gets a walk and scores a run might be fine.
Gotcha. Okay. TJ, your thoughts are short?
They probably won't be fine since Fitzgerald is going to hit a home run today, and you'll probably need him. But somebody asked how many hitters can they play against their pitchers. I still even though it's a small slate, I still rarely would ever do more than one. But I think Willy Adames against Flaherty makes a good case today at 4,600 and really low ownership if you can't get up to Fitzgerald. I don't hate Rojas at 3,600 batting 6th for the Dodgers if you're playing a few other Dodgers, but like my single entry today, my biggest way of getting different is I'm not playing Fried, and then I have Fitzgerald and Chapman. So they are two of my favorite low-owned tournament plays.
Okay, take me to the outfield.
Outfield today, again, Ohtani is like my highest owned. Actually, he's second highest owned guy today. My highest is how many likes are we at? My highest is the third Spidey Bomb. So if we can get up to 100 likes, we are at 86 right now. That's only 14 away. I will let you know my highest owned play and Spidey Bomb number 3. Shohei Ohtani, Daz Cameron, Victor Robles. Some cheap guys in Ohtani are kind of how I'm going here a lot. I like Randy Arozarena. Everybody does. Jesse Winker is in a good spot. Everybody likes him. Michael Harris is projected to lead off, so he's in a pretty good spot. I think my favorite low-owned guys are Malloy leading off for Detroit today. Ozuna, even though it's against Logan Webb, he's got a pretty low ground ball rate, and he's got better than a 300 ISO against righties this year. I like Ozuna today quite a bit. I did also bet on him to hit a home run. Some Parker Meadows, some Miguel Andujar, and Teoscar Hernandez at low ownership I like as well. Also, it's so tough to project ownership on a 4-game slate. Who knows how it'll exactly stack up? But we're currently projecting Heliot Ramos for 2% ownership. So I think that's very interesting for tournaments too.
Okay. Cheese, you want to add some names in the outfield?
Yeah, my favorite players outside of Ohtani are the lefty Tigers, Carpenter and Meadows.
That's Spidey Bomb number 3. It's Kerry.
I know. I knew it was. I
couldn't get away with it. It was pretty obvious.
Yeah, the fact that you didn't say his name kind of gave that away.
Plus
So, yeah.
500. Come on.
Cheap stuff. Daz Cameron and Parker Meadows are my favorite cheap guys. The mid tier, like I said, it's Carpenter plus those Mariners, Rosarena and Robles. There you go. There you have it.
Easy enough. The people want some home run calls. They got 3 Spidey bombs, and now they want some cheese dongs. So, Cheese, what do we have for them?
Since Spidey is doing Kerry Carpenter, I'll do Parker Meadows. And how about a little mid-tier Jesse Winker and a cheap, perfectly named Bly Madras.
Wonderful. Okay, guys, we have about 14 minutes, I believe, until lock. I don't think I made that up, right? It's 10 after today. Does that sound right?
That sounds correct.
That's what I thought. So we're going to take some QQs. If you keep the questions coming all the way up until lock, then we'll stay until lock. If not, we'll probably say goodbye and we'll eat a little lunch and we will reconvene at a later point today. In the meantime, Razzle Dazzle says, TJ, your favorite Oakland plays on DK. Are there any cash contest worthy plays on Oakland?
I think Langelier and Cameron would probably be the 2 you could consider in cash.
Okay, very good. Let's see what else we've got here. K-Town's Finest says, Cheese, thoughts on a Seattle-San Francisco stack to be a little different?
Yeah, if you're gonna stack Seattle, the Mets, or the Dodgers, and do a double stack, you do want one of the off the board teams. So yes, I like putting the Giants with that.
Okay. Let's see what else we have. Jorge Polanco to homer. Cheese, you got Polanco homering?
I mean, I never think it's never likely that anyone homers, but yes, I mean he's up there pretty high on the list of, especially at second base.
Okay.
Yes.
Michael TJ says, were you talking Gerald Fitzpatrick or Patrick Fitzgerald? What? Gerald Fitzpatrick or Patrick Fitzgerald? What? Why does that hurt my head?
Tyler Fitzgerald.
I don't understand. Okay. We're just going to move on. I don't understand. It went over my head. It's okay. That happens a lot with baseball. TJ, Carpenter or Winker?
Carpenter by a lot.
Okay. Let's see. Does Devers homer today? Cheese, I don't mean to just pepper you with, does this guy homer? Because the odds are like 15.
All of Eric Johnson's comments over the last 20 minutes. I'm going Teoscar to homer. Just got Fitzgerald to homer. Daz is one of my home run calls. Matt Olson homer. Jorge Polanco to homer. Does Devers homer? I'm gonna mute this.
You know what? Everyone homers.
Everybody homers.
Everyone homers.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
You heard it here. Everybody homers. You know what we've
before
done?
That Gary Carpenter, before that Lindor. Oh my goodness. 30 seconds.
One for everybody.
Eric Johnson. 30 seconds mute.
30-second mute. Razzle Dazzle says, Cheese, do you like your FanDuel build better with Flaherty or Fried in single entry?
The question is worded strangely because obviously I like the build better with Fried because you get better bats, but I prefer playing Flaherty because I think he's the better pitcher. So I'm using more Flaherty. Okay. But the rest of my build looks better with Fried, but I have more Flaherty.
Okay. What are you guys doing for lunch? We'll stall with some lunch. We'll see if we get some questions in. If not, we can bounce. Cheese, you got plans already?
Got a little leftover Chinese food.
Oh God, what'd you get?
I'm gonna do that.
What'd you get?
We've got hot and sour soup, of course, and then I'm not sure what is left. I think Mongolian beef.
Okay.
Is left.
We'll get down on some of that. I'm about that General Tso's chicken personally. I'm a General Tso's chicken guy, but that doesn't reheat very well. So that's something that you want to get down first. Mongolian beef reheats a lot better.
Yeah, it's if you get something fried, eat that first. Yeah,
that's it. You see, we are a connoisseur of these kinds of foods. TJ, you got any lunch plans here?
No, I haven't thought it through yet. I'm gonna figure that out after the show. Just got back from the lake late last night, so don't have any leftovers or anything, but I'll figure something out.
Okay. I got some raviolis that are looking pretty tasty here. Hey, you know what we should do is we should read a promo so that, I keep my job. Get ahead of the competition. RG Premium, NFL Premium, by the way, is now available for the season. Non-premium users can get $100 off their NFL Premium subscription. All you have to do is click through the banner on RG. You can also get a 6-month combo sub, exclusive price $469.99, which saves you $250 as opposed to buying 6 individual months. And if you're not a fan of commitment, 1 month of RG combo premium, $120. If you just want to test run, still 3-day pass is $19.99. That is cheaper than Cheese's Mongolian beef. You just cannot beat these kinds of prices. So make sure you're signing up. Let's see what else we've got. A few more questions came in here. Cheese, 3 pitchers on FanDuel. I assume Fried and Flaherty. Who would be your third?
I have Logan Webb slightly more than Bryce Miller, slightly more than Jose Quintana. But officially, if I had 3 lineups, it would be 2 Flahertys and a Fried.
Okay, great. On DK, do we like 5-3 stacks on these short slates? That's a good question. You still cool going 5-3, TJ?
Yeah, you can always 5-3.
Yep.
My single entry is a 5-2-1 today.
Okay. How much Flaherty is too much before a hedge? I have 20 lineups and want to play it all Flaherty.
Do 19 Flaherty and 1 Milwaukee stack.
Okay. Money line on Atlanta or San Francisco, TJ?
Flip a coin. Absolutely no idea. It's 2 good pitchers going up against 2 solid offenses. Atlanta's a better team. San Francisco's at home. Not something I would personally bet on.
Cheese, is hot and sour soup better than wonton soup?
If it's made well, it absolutely is. But that's one of those it's easier to make hot and sour soup poorly, in which case the wonton is safer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I do not like any Chinese soups. Every time I go to a Chinese restaurant and they're like, here are our 3 or 4 soup options. I'm like, I don't like any of those
Have
soups.
you ever had a high quality sizzling rice soup?
Sizzling rice?
You probably haven't. You
No.
probably haven't. Otherwise, you wouldn't be saying this. But it's hard.
Well, that sounds amazing. Okay. That sounds good. What do we got?
Michael Knack is really wanting to know where his car keys are, Ross. So if you could get to that one, that'd be great.
Yeah. They're in your pocket from your shorts that you wore yesterday. There you go. That whenever I lose mine, that is where I find them. So check that. Let's see what we've got here. TJ, is the Little League team in the World Series from Canada close to where you live? Do you have any idea?
No idea. I doubt it. Probably from Ontario or BC.
Yeah. Canada's a big place, man. Cheese, straight up Randy or the big dumper? Straight up.
Dumper.
Dante says, happy birthday, Dante. It's my birthday. Happy birthday, Dante. Thank you for hanging out with us on your birthday. Love the show. Thank you. We appreciate and love you.
What logo? What is that logo? What is happening?
Pop it back up. It's Miami, but it's
not. What does it say? Crimson?
Is it Hermoso? Crimson?
Where are the Crimson Heat from, Dante? Let us know.
Yeah, all right. I can't believe you were able to read that.
Yeah, I don't think that's a Miami Heat. I mean, it's close.
Yeah. I have 25 vision. I like bragging about my vision. See everything.
I have pretty good vision. My wife is totally blind, so compared to her in this household, I'm strong. But compared to you, I got nothing, TJ. They're in Newberry. I don't think it's the cheer group.
I really hope that's
it is. My daughter's all-star cheer team.
It is.
Did he really say that?
Man, yeah. Steve found that thing in a hurry.
That's amazing.
Steve found the Dead Sea of Canada real quick. Steve found the all-star cheer team. Shout out to the cheer team.
Nicely done. All right. Well, this one apparently is Maryland. I don't know if that's which one we pulled up, but either way,
Newberry sounds like it would be in Maryland.
Good work. Hey, Musa says Randy or Polar Bear Pete. Cheese, who do you like?
Polar Bear.
Nathan says, Cheese, any interest in Canzani?
Yeah, like he's one of the guys. When I said like the thing I like about Seattle is you can stack all the different parts of the lineup and be different. So like, yes, a few Seattle stacks in, like you want to play him instead of a Rosarena or Robles to get different, and I do like him.
Yeah, one stack to win it all. TJ, for you, it's the Mariners.
I would get the Tigers.
Oh, baby. Cheese, for you.
Tigers.
Okay. Hey, look, Deshaun says, hey, guys, still give me the Tigers. There you go. We give you the Tigers. TJ, will a lineup of 2 best pitchers, in my opinion, combined with a full Giants fly ball hitter stack be good enough to win it all? So
if Freed gets blown up by the Giants, you will be in an amazing spot because half the field will have Freed.
yeah, all right.
I have 2 Giants in my single entry.
Yeah. Cheese Blade to finish an Oakland stack, or one off your boy Carp?
Carp.
Okay. Are the A's? Damn it, I fell for that from Eric Johnson. Are the A's chalky today? I don't know. I never know if these are serious questions or not.
No,
I'm
they're
gonna
not,
guess
outside
no.
of maybe Daz and Shea.
Yeah. Andrew Martin. By the way, Daz is going to hit a home run. I don't know who that dude is, but talk about names that I like. Daz. That's his
Well,
first
for
name.
real, Kevin, if you like small sample,
Yeah.
and I know you do, the dude has a 424 ISO, which is like Aaron Judge level hitting. I mean, it's 41 plate appearances, but that's not nothing.
Yeah.
He actually is a pretty reasonable, cheap home run. Yeah.
Daz is my home run pick of the day. Lock that in. I don't know. What are the odds? TJ, can you look up Daz's home run odds? Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see.
675.
Plus 675?
Yep.
Daz bomb. Andrew says, Cheese, so if Freed is going to be chalk, can we fire with a full San Francisco stack? We're not opposed to that, are we?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. You should stack every team on this slate.
Okay. Unreleased Lo-Fi Music says, fellas, is hibachi better than Chinese? It's got to be, right? Is hibachi, when you go, it's just so different.
One is a
like
type of eating device, and the other is an entire culture of food. So I wouldn't take the entire culture of food over the one type of device personally.
Yeah, but it's like the style. It depends what you want. Like, are you celebrating something? You want to go do the hibachi deal, and it's a show, or you just want a quick lunch? You want Chinese?
I think we should take Dante to the hibachi tonight for sure.
Yeah. Dante, we're doing it. Come hang with us, Dante. You got to meet us in. Where are we going to meet?
Yeah, it's Michael Knack. Hibachi is a Japanese grill or like way of heating things up. So, it's really cool. I'm just saying, like, I would take one entire country's food over one country's one type of food,
Sure. And generally when people say hibachi, what they really mean is not hibachi. It's not.
What do they mean?
I can't think of the word now.
When I hear hibachi, I think of Gilbert Arenas hitting threes and yelling hibachi.
Yeah, but it's like going to Benihana's or whatever. But that thing is not even a hibachi. I can't think of the name right now, which is a bummer. But hey, that's irrelevant. What is relevant is that we are less than a minute until lock. If you have any last second questions, let's go.
I have a lot of questions now. Now I'm trying to figure out what it is that you're saying. What is
teppanyaki? It's called teppanyaki. That style of cooking where they've got the big flat thing in front of you. That's teppanyaki. I'm almost positive. I'm going to Google it to make sure. Teppanyaki. Can I get a restaurant? What is teppanyaki versus hibachi? Teppanyaki is traditionally cooked on a flat iron slab that is built into the table. Hibachi is cooked on a grill in front of you. So there you go.
Now I'm thinking about the place we go. I don't know which it is. I mean, it's flat. I don't know if it's a grill or what'd you say, iron? I don't know.
That's teppanyaki. Hibachi is like literally a grill. Like there's with coals, Oh,
well, that's not it. All right.
I know.
See? Interesting.
I know. But everybody calls it hibachi. So it's just like commonly referred to as hibachi, but it's teppanyaki.
Yeah, but as Peter brings up, so at Waffle House, they're doing teppanyaki with eggs, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, that's some fancy teppanyaki right there. Let's see what we've got. Good luck. God bless all. Fun fact, Daz Cameron is Mike's son. Who's Mike Cameron?
Really good outfielder.
Yeah, used to play for Seattle mostly. Yeah, real good.
And today is a friends and family game, according to Dean. So hitting the home run for sure.
Yeah, Daz bomb. It's happening. Hey, we hit the lock. My computer is seconds away from dying, so that's good timing. For Cheese, for TJ, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you tomorrow. Have a good one. You have been crunched.